Senator Elizabeth Warren of Massachusetts has a new student loan plan that she revealed recently. She wants to first off implement the Buffett rule. Okay, now the Buffett rule is a minimum tax on people making $1 million or more per year of 30%. And the reason why this came about is that it's a way to address the problem that many secretaries are making about $60,000 a year, and they're paying a higher tax rate than the CEOs that they work for who make millions per year. So that's why Warren Buffett came up with this idea. So she wants to actually implement it, and with the billions of dollars, I should say, in revenue that are going to be raised through that, she would immediately turn around and allocate that money to student loan refinancing, so they can refinance their loans at a lower rate. So right now, the rate is 3.86%, but this would drop it and save each student about $1,000 a year. So yet again, I mean, here we have the great Elizabeth Warren just coming up with a plan that helps the American people, helps young students, and overall, of course, it would help the economy, because now you're freeing up capital for people who need it, and then what are they going to do with that? They're going to pay off their credit card bill also, and they're going to, buy a car and get a loan, or they're going to get a mortgage, or they're going to use it to stimulate the economy, even if it's just by going out an extra day a week to the restaurant. So, I mean, this is just another example of how she knows exactly what she's doing, and she's one of the few people that actually represents the American people. But here's my idea. Here would be my proposal, and granted, this has roughly a negative 6% chance of getting through. I mean, in all seriousness, Elizabeth Warren's idea doesn't have a chance of getting through because the House of Representatives is majority Republican, because they cheated and gerrymandered, so they held the House in the last election. So that doesn't even have a chance of getting through. But while we're at it, coming up with ideas that would help the American people, why not just abolish all student loan debt? Nobody dares bring up such a radical idea. But I mean, think about it. There are a lot of European countries and a lot of modern industrial nations, they have decided that, as a government, maybe one of the things we should take off the table and we should just guarantee to every citizen as a birthright is a full education, including through college. I mean, I know in America that's crazy because we think everything should be for profit. So, of course, we have the college system scamming people out of money, and you become indentured servitudes to the banks that lend you money, or indentured servants, I should say, to the banks that lend you money. But other places have decided, well, that should just be funded through tax dollars. Whatever the rate is. You had a 2%, 3% tax rate on everybody across the country, or you could do a progressive tax rate and tax the rich more for it. But that shouldn't even be controversial. I mean, it's $1.2 trillion in student loan debt and climbing, and they can't file for bankruptcy with it. It's one of the few things where you're just not allowed to file for bankruptcy. So you have to pay that bitch off until you're, in your 50s maybe, in your 60s. We have members of Congress that are still paying back student loans. Isn't that insane? So that's my idea. If we can find a way, and we did, to spend $7 trillion in Iraq, that's when all is said and done by 2053, after you factor in the interest and all that stuff. We can't find a way to fund college for everybody. We could find a way to give $4 billion in subsidies to ExxonMobil every single year. That's just corporate welfare. They are already one of the most profitable corporations on the planet. We can give them $4 billion tax dollars, but we can't make sure that anybody who wants to go to college can go, funded by the taxpayer. I mean, it's a joke. It's an absolute joke.